Hey everybody, hope you're well. Welcome to episode number 6 of Average Beer Dude TV. I am Chris, I am Average Beer Dude. Thanks for tuning in, thanks for joining me. I'm really looking forward to doing this review today of a really fresh beer that I just picked up yesterday, yet to try it. We have Pure Brewing's 17-way collaboration, I guess you would call it. It's called Power in Numbers. This one is their Triple IPA, 11.5%, 50 IBU. Nelson, Mosaic, and Enigma. Oddly enough, those 3 hops are probably my favorite hops right now, so I am really excited to try this. Just picked this one up yesterday, as I said, down at Pure's 2-year anniversary party. That was a total shit show, to be honest with you. A lot of fun, saw a lot of good local Instagrammers, along with meeting a few other new faces, so it's always fun to do that. Also picked up this sweet glass that came with admission, so really pumped on kind of giving this glass a whirl, giving this beer a whirl, seeing what it's all about. I did not have a chance to try this yesterday, although they were pouring it. The lines were just insanely long, so I was there for maybe 2 hours and got 2 pours. Take that for what it's worth. It was still a really good time. Always good to see everybody. So yeah, I think we'll kind of dive right in. Let's take a look at this can real quick, I guess, before we get started, to see what you guys what we're working with. Hopefully you can see that. Pretty typical Pure can. All the stuff there on the back, if you can see that there, a little bit more information. 17-way collaboration. I think this is absolutely absurd. I was wondering how these guys were going to do this, but they really did it. I thought maybe they would just kind of, all agree on a recipe and then go and have Pure or maybe a few other ones brew it. But they had, I believe, all 17 breweries there pitching in on both brews. There's also another one called Power in Numbers. It's an imperial stout with caramel, espresso, and biscotti. Don't know if I'm going to do a video review on that one, but we'll see. Breweries involved. I'm just going to run through the list here real quick as we get started. Abnormal, McKellar San Diego, Bottle Logic, Casa Agria, Cerebral, Humble Sea, Aslin, Horace Stage Dales, Burgeon Beer Company, Beachwood, Great Notion, Mason Ale Works, Weathered Souls, Alvarado Street, Fieldwork, and Automatic Brewing Company. Wow. A little bit more about Triple IPAs, I guess, with Pure. I don't know how many of you guys have had Triple IPAs from Pure, but they do a really fucking good job at them. They really know what they're doing. They somehow back off that malty sweetness and just deliver on these. So needless to say, I'm really excited about this. I've only had a couple triples from them. Triple Dry Hyped, I think, was the first one I had, and that one was stellar. That was what kind of put Pure, for me, on the map as far as Triple IPAs go. Then they did the ISO, which was the one that was kind of pinky purpley. I think they put like pomegranate or something in there. I think they did another triple here pretty recently. Gatsby, I think it was, which I just adored that beer. That was super good. So anyway, as I said, haven't had this beer. Let's go ahead and crack the can, give it a pour, see what it smells like, see what it looks like, all that fun stuff. Leave a little room there in the top. Get the old schnoz going there. Not the greatest lighting in here, but you kind of get the idea. If I had to describe this, to me it looks like straight peach juice. Kind of a darkish orange color. A really frothy head. Real frothy. Real tight bubbles in there. Just laces up like super, super well. So, cool. This looks like a pretty, looks like a really thick beer. So we'll see what we got. Okay. Good news is it doesn't really smell overly boozy at all. That's kind of the first thing I look for in Triple IPAs, just because they're usually boozy as hell and too sweet and all that stuff. I do pick up some sweetness in there. And for me, man, all these hops really shine through. I get kind of the berry, gooseberry type. I think that's probably from the Enigma. Kind of a little bit of an earthy hop smell, presumably from Mosaic. And then with Nelson, I do get a little bit of that like like grapey smell. Nelson and Enigma for me are both like the berry explosion. So that's kind of what I'm getting on this beer. One more just in case. You never know. Yeah. Wow. If I had to judge it based off just smell alone and how it looks, this beer would be knock out of the park for sure. Looks great, smells great. Let's see what it tastes like. Man, I don't know how they do this. I really don't. Well done, Pure Project. All right. It does follow the nose a bit. It is a little sweet, but this thing is, it's 11.5%. I don't know how you could make a beer that's not a little sweet, like an IPA that's not a little sweet at that high of ABV, but just a little sweetness in there. Yeah, for me, it follows the nose pretty well. I get a little bit of the like herbally, almost black tea type of taste, presumably from that mosaic, I think. Citrusy, not overly citrusy and not overly bitter either for me. Definitely get some of that Nelson in there with that white wine grape berry. These hops really shine through pretty well in this beer, actually. I'm actually really surprised. Take another sip. Yeah, I guess there's like kind of like a little bit of a bready, like a loaf of bread, not Brett, the yeast strain. Yeah, this is super good. The real question is it as good as some of the other triples I've had from Pure? And I'm gonna say, I don't think it is. This can is really fresh, so I have a couple more cans in the fridge here that I'm gonna let sit for a couple more days, maybe even a couple more weeks, see how those end up. This is still really good. I don't think it's as good as Gatsby was. I don't know what I really enjoyed about Gatsby. Gatsby to me felt brighter. This one feels a little bit more viscous and thick, but still really, really good. For a triple IPA, this is just fantastic. They just really knocked it out of the park with this one. I'm going to do one more swig, make sure I'm not missing anything for you guys. Hopefully I've described this well enough, but yeah, man. Same things I described. Kind of that spicy black tea for me. Definitely some citrusy melon, not really bitter. Berry explosion for me in this one. Whatever you want to say. I mean, I'm not going to nitpick on berries or anything. I'm not that good at what I'm doing here, but definitely get some of that berry, some of that wine grape. And oddly enough, this thing finishes just like super smooth. I get zero, and I literally mean zero boozy burn from this beer, which is pretty crazy at 11.5%. Rating wise, this is the kind of the moment everybody always waits for. They want to know, the rating, rating this, rating that, If I had to rate this beer, man, I'd probably give it a 4.5 out of 5. I think I gave Gatsby a 5. I just really enjoyed that beer quite a lot. This is close, but not as close as, not as good as Gatsby. I'll just leave it at that. Love to know what you think of this beer. This is going to start hitting the market here pretty soon. You're going to see people posting up on Instagram, posting up YouTube videos, all that good stuff with this beer. Really would love to know what you guys think of this. If you like this video, I really appreciate it if you subscribe to the channel. We're growing daily, adding more videos, trying to just come up with different things and do more reviews.